Hey, Driven Autism Dads, it's Kyle Jetzel. As you can see, it's a little bit later in the day. Sun's going down. I'm hoping I can finish this video before I lose too much light. But today I wanted to talk about always being open to learn and try new strategies when it comes to our kids on the autism spectrum. So, and I'll give you a good example. So my son, I have one of my sons on the autism spectrum. He's 22. He's more severe. And he is, let me see if I can describe this well for you. He doesn't like me. As a matter of fact, he goes out of his way to not be around me. He's just kind of crappy to me. I mean, all the time. And I think I know why, because I'm kind of the last, I give him the discipline he needs in his life to live in this world, right? I'm the guy who says, yeah, that's not going to happen, or you can't do that. And I'm nice about it, but he doesn't like being told no about anything. And there's certain things that he can't do. And so I think he sees me as I'm a limiting factor in his life. So he treats me that way. If I'm in the kitchen and he comes in to get some food, he'll leave until I'm out. If he's eating something at the kitchen table and I walk in and sit at the table, not even next to him, he'll get up and leave. It's very rare. He doesn't really have much of a connection with me. There is one thing he likes to do, and I think I'll do a video about that I found out about. But in most cases, he's just not kind to me. And I'm a little bit ashamed to say this, but sometimes I kind of find myself just resenting him. You know, I mean, I treat him so well. I mean, I take care of the kid 24/7, 365. I'm the primary caregiver. He has to. I'm everything. And I treat him good, even though he doesn't treat me good at all. I'm always kind. I'm always nice. And I really am. You'd be shocked if you watched how the whole thing goes. Some of my other kids, my typical kids, I can tell they don't like it. And when he treats me a certain way, which is most of the time, you can see them want to defend me and basically say, why are you letting him do that, Dad? But the reality is, I don't care how he treats me. I'm going to be kind and take care of him. He's my son. And so, but yeah, so I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that over a long periods of time, sometimes it gets to where I'm just not really, I resent him. I'll just put it that way. When you treat somebody kind over and over and over and you get nothing in return, it's hard. Some of you may know what this is like, but it gets hard. You just don't want to be around them. You don't want to treat them kind anymore. I mean, you want to just be done with him, you know? But I know he needs me. I know he needs me, and he needs the discipline, and he needs the love, and he needs the kindness from me more than anybody in his life. So periodically, and this was about 2 years ago on his birthday, in June of 2021, it was the day before his birthday, and he had pushed me. I had taken him out running around the weekend before his birthday, and something happened he didn't like, and as I was walking out of Target, he shoved me from behind violently. And I have some nerve damage in my left shoulder from an accident a few years back that's never really completely healed, and he re-aggravated that. And so, I mean, I was kind of at my wit's end with him. I was really done. And it was the night before his birthday. And I knew it wasn't healthy for me to feel that way. I knew it wasn't healthy for me to resent him. And again, I'm ashamed to say that. I mean, hopefully you won't judge me too harshly. Not hopefully, you may have felt this way. And I think it's kind of part of the deal sometimes. But the night before his birthday, I realized pretty quickly I couldn't go on like this, because he would feel it. He would know of my disdain for him. And disdain was what it was, and resentment. And so I hatched a plan the night before his birthday. And it went like this. when I laid down to go to sleep, I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll pack my brain full of wonderful memories of Eric. And so when I laid down to go to sleep, I thought of, the times where he was little bitty and he was sweet and he was kind and he was just giggly, and before he hit those teen years and he went kind of south on me. But I just rolled memory after memory of those earlier years through my brain, and I fell asleep thinking about filling my head with those memories. And here's where it got interesting, right? I started to dream about him, and I dreamed he was 3 years old again, and he was a cute little big blue-eyed blonde-headed boy. And I got home from work one day, and he saw me and he ran over and he jumped up and hugged me real tight and jumped in my lap, and he started sucking his thumb, which is something he did when he was little. And he sat in my lap and just loved on me and started rubbing my nose with his other finger. That was the other thing he did. I think it was a sensory thing. And I felt his love, and it was just overwhelming. And the problem is I woke up and I was filled with that love for him. I relived that experience in that moment in my dream. And I was kind of mad because I wanted to feel more of that. I didn't want to wake up. I wanted to feel more of that feeling and rekindle that feeling I have for him. And so I thought, you know what, maybe I can go back to sleep and I can go back into that dream. So I started thinking about that so hard, and I went back to sleep. But this time I didn't have that dream. I had a different dream. And this dream was even better. And so in this dream, we were in the afterlife. And I don't know much detail. Sometimes dreams are fuzzy. But what I do remember is seeing Eric from across the room, and him turning and seeing me and smiling really big, and then coming over to me with this big giant grin on his face. And my son doesn't really talk. He's what a lot of people would call, he's verbal, but he's very limited. But with complete and total clarity, without any limitations whatsoever, he wrapped his arms around me real tight, and he said, "Thank you for taking such great care of me. I love you, Dad." And I just remember the feeling of him having all total, complete, no limitations, no disabilities, complete capacity. And that feeling that I got when he said that. And I woke up again, and I just laid there, just overwhelmed with a feeling of love for him, just pure love. And I realized pretty quickly that feeling, that overwhelming pure love, was really what I needed to express to him, no matter what he does. And so, I ended up going back to sleep and finishing the night out. And when I woke up the next morning, I took a shower and I ran. And usually what I do is I'll walk to the stairs. My bedroom's upstairs. And I'll sit on the stairs and I'll slip on my socks. It's a nice, comfortable spot for me to slip on my socks. So as I slipped on my socks, his door opened, and he came out with the same scowl he always has for me. Just the same old disgusted with me scowl. And it was his birthday. So I hopped up real quick and I turned around and I said, "Eric, it's your birthday." And he looked at me with the scowl, and I said, "Can I give you a hug?" And he said, and he just didn't say no. So I grabbed him and started to hug him real tight. And when I hug Eric, he doesn't hug me back. He just stands there stiff. It's a really weird feeling. But this time, he lifted his arms and put them on me, and he hugged me back. And I re-felt that same love. The point, I guess, that I'm trying to make is it's very clear to me that we're going to have to continue to develop strategies to manage ourselves with our kids on the spectrum. Eric is now 22. He still has meltdowns occasionally. He still screams out in anger. He's worked through a lot of those little things that he went through as a teenager, and I think a lot of it is because we've worked with him so that he knows how to manage those emotions better and regulate himself. And so he does a really good job of regulating himself, but he's still not nice to me. And those events that when I can put myself in that state of pure love, those carry me for a long, long time. So I want you to know, and maybe even try it. And if you don't dream about, if you lay down and start thinking about those great themes and you don't dream about it, that's okay. Continually fill your head with those wonderful, sweet thoughts about your kids. And I can tell you from personal experience, not every time that I do it do I have a dream. But every time I do it and I fill my head with loving thoughts and relive those sweet moments, it will buoy me up. And I need that. And you probably do too. So let's all be continuous learners. Let's all look for new strategies and techniques to keep us in a good and wonderful state of mind so that we can support our kids and love them and make them feel loved and give them everything we can so they can succeed in this life to whatever potential they have, their fullest potential. Hopefully that's helpful. Have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.